For me, growing up with, drugs were like to have fun and make money. That's the whole deal, right? And guys always told me, like if you're not having fun and you're not making money and you're still fucking with drugs, then you're just another dope fiend. All my friends were gone. I was still in level 4 prison. And guys that I was messing with were getting busted. And I thought, here I am trying to make a few bucks, trying to party. I'm not really having any fun. Money's too risky. I'm over it. And, I flushed a 1/4 ounce of crank down the toilet and never looked back.
Good for you, man.
But, as far as like when I got out, that's one thing that really tripped me out. Like I paroled to South Central and like there was very few, we're the only whites in the neighborhood. And I asked this guy, Warren, I said, hey, what's it like living here in the ghetto? Because I'm from San Diego originally. He goes, it's just like prison. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, if you want some, they'll give you more than you can handle. And if you don't want none, they won't fuck with you, So I lived there 7 months. There were shootings, helicopters around the pad at night. But I got in a motorcycle accident when I was there. And the tow truck driver had my bike on his truck, and I went in to get money out of the ATM. And when I came out, he was a Mexican cat, and he goes, hey man, some black dudes came by on their motorcycles and asked about you. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He says, they saw your bike and they said, what happened? Is he okay? They were concerned about you. So these guys that rode bikes around the neighborhood never spoke with me, but they knew I was there and they seen me around and I thought that was pretty cool,
No, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's something that a lot of people have a misconception about you because you're a big, white inmate but you don't have a racist bone in your body. You always treat people how they treat you. Is that right, Mitch?
Well, I do my best to, a friend of mine, he's in a bike club and they got a little patch that says we give what we get. And that's kind of me, like you treat me good, I'll treat you better.
Yeah. No, that's what it's all about, man, is just respect and, prison being such a high respect, over the top kind of environment. What was it like transitioning into mainstream society? How'd you adapt? How'd you, do you still wash your clothes in the shower? Or?
No. I did have my plastic spoon from prison. I used to carry that in my pocket for about 6 months till I lost it. And I could swear my wife threw it out, maybe. But, like in South Central, I used to walk around a lot, and go to different stores and, you meet people on the sidewalk or wherever you're out and about. They'll look you in the face, and if you nod, like in prison, you nod to somebody, they turn their head, they don't nod back. It's a sign of disrespect. So in South Central, they'll nod back, say hi, shake your hand, and then I would split and go like down to Santa Monica, the beach, or go to Hollywood, and people walk by and they'll just turn their head away, and I'm like, man, what the fuck's wrong with these people, They just, the whole, society's weird now to me compared to when I went to prison. It just seems like there's a lot of people on some really weird shit out here, and it's not, and I don't mean like tough guy shit or, I mean like really snotty, I'm better than you kind of attitudes, and then, making assumptions that, because you're a big tattooed white dude, you're a racist motherfucker. Or, when I was in LA, I worked in Skid Row. I worked through a job readiness program down on the industrial area. I worked on 6 and Gladys. And, the people that lived down there I was always pretty cool with, It's the people outside of them areas I found to be really funny style. And like the cancel culture and let's defund the police, and I don't understand it. I don't get it, because that they don't have any solutions for some of the problems. Like what really made me glad that I quit using drugs too in prison was when I got out and saw the damage that drug use has done to society in California. Most of the homeless camps that you go to, it's drugs, some alcohol. Some guys are veterans that have some issues, but mostly it's drugs, you know. And once I moved up to Sacramento, I had a job cleaning out homeless camps. You know, we'd go certain areas by the river, there's camps, and we'd take their trash, you know, their buckets of shit and piss and all that, and we'd give them trash bags, we'd feed their dogs, we'd give them water, you know, check on them. Some of them would be sick, and we'd check on them, see how they're doing. And, but we wouldn't evict them, we just clean their camps out. And they were glad to see us. And we never had any problems with them. And then sometimes they would evict them. If they're in neighborhoods on sidewalks, after a while they'll evict them. And so whatever they leave, we would take it, you know, it goes into a trash truck basically. And, you know, it's up in Sacramento, and the people were protesting us doing our job, calling us pieces of shit, and then they started threatening us. And, you know, it kind of triggered me. Guy basically said he was going to kill us. And I took my work knife out.
Allegedly.
Oh, I did. It's on film. And, you know, guy peed on himself. But that's a trigger. I mean, where I come from, if you say, hey, I'm going to kill you, they're going to do it. They're going to try. So this guy's there saying, hey, you know, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to kill you. You know, and it was on film. It was on the news. And so I lost my job. And then they started getting at me on Instagram. Like, and I'm like, hey, dude, you don't even know me. I spent 38 years in fucking prison. You just cost me my job with your bullshit, you know? And you don't have any solutions. You know, their thing is that those homeless people should be able to live wherever the fuck they want. We'll put them in your backyard. You know, let them get up out of their tent and piss and shit in your fucking front yard. And see how you like that. They don't have any solutions.
What's your solution, Mitch?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a complex issue, you know, that, I mean, you know, we worked with the police down there, which was kind of funny. Here I am, 38 years in prison, and, you know, actually when that happened, cops sent word to me through my coworkers. They said, hey, those cops said to tell you that they're sorry about what happened and they love you, you know, which kind of tripped me out. But one of them that ran that program was trying to get an area where they could just camp out, you know, like they're going to camp out all over the city anyway, so just give them a place to do it, you know.
Right.
But
no, that's a trip, man.
part of the solution too would be get rid of some of this fentanyl and this shit that's polluting our streets. You know?
It's a huge problem out here.
It is. It's a massive problem.
And no one has, it's like not in my backyard. Everyone has that philosophy.
Yeah.
You know, but you've seen the devastation drugs have done, and we need to reopen the mental health institutions, man.
Yeah.
We need to get those back open.
Yeah. Well, the amphetamines and that crack shit has caused, amphetamine psychosis, and some people will never bounce back from that.
No.
So they do need some mental health.
Society has changed around you, and it seems like you're doing great now with your T-shirt sales, your artwork, and how important is art for you, Mitch, just from a mental standpoint? Is it like your therapy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just built a shed up in my house. It's basically a little art studio, and I'm like, hey, I need to find a part-time job or something. My wife's like, man, get out in the shed and do some artwork, fool. So, I go out there, and like right now I'm doing some tattoo work on a couple guys. I'm designing a logo for a paint company, and I'm doing a painting of a coyote in a desert for somebody. And yeah, I love it. I can listen to music, get out my art supplies and paint. There's a redwood tree right out front of my shed. I just, it's definitely therapy, and it's something I did for many, many years in prison. So I'm just blessed to have the support of my family and, you know, my wife to encourage me to do it, you know. And,
No, that's awesome, man. I know you're into art, motorcycles, and I hear you're a big history buff.
oh yeah, I love history. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what era you like.
You know, I like all of history, but you know, I'm a big World War II fan. I mean, World War II to me shaped the world the way it is now, and there'll never be another war like that. And you look at the economic and industrial power of America during that time. It's just incredible, man. You know, I watched all the World at Wars. I read books on the Luftwaffe, and you know, and that's another thing about this country. Like when I grew up, I was born in 1961, so you know, World War II was barely what 15, 16 years old, over, and you know, the America that I grew up in was like, hey, America's strong, Americans are badass, you know, John Wayne, all that shit. Americans don't take no shit. And now that I'm out here, it's like, oh, you hurt my feelings. I don't know if I'm a girl or a boy. You know, it's just like, it makes no fucking sense to me. You know, we let piss ass terrorists step on us, and you got people saying that they have the right to do it. I mean, it's insane. So you have people living in this country that want to destroy the country, to me. Its values, its economic base, its moral statue. I don't understand it. It's like cutting your nose off to spite your face, you know?
Where do you think we lost our way? Do you think we sold our country out somewhere along the way, Mitch? I mean,
I think, you know, there's certain politicians that opened up the Bank of China, and you know, they have strong connections to international bankers like the Rothschild family that sets the gold standard. They sold out to those people, and I think, you know, it created an economic boom for a while. People didn't ask where the money was coming from. They were just glad to have it. But I mean, you know, I remember when they were screaming about the national debt when it was not even a fraction of what it is now. Now we owe trillions of dollars. It'll never be paid. So, you know, who actually owns our country now?
right now China is buzzing the island of Taiwan, and I found out Taiwan makes all our chips.
Yeah.
We've become completely reliant on other countries.
Right.
When are we going to bring manufacturing back here, Mitch? You know?
I mean, that's a big deal for me, you know? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, before I went to prison, it's like, hey, shit was made in America. America was a strong country. Americans looked out for Americans. And that's my thing, like, I don't care what race you are, what religion you are. Like, if there's a problem and you have a solution, I don't care whose idea it is, as long as it's a real solution. It makes our country better. Like, if someone else is doing well, it means I can do well, you know? If someone else is, you know, not doing real well, it could happen to you, you know? So, I mean, I just think people need to think more about, this is where we live. Where are you gonna go? Why are you destroying your own country? And I don't understand it. This is our country. And this was the strongest country in the world. In a lot of ways it still is, but it's just like people are actively tearing it down. And I just don't understand it. A lot of them are doing it for their fatten up their own pocketbooks, you know. And then you can get into like all the secret society shit and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's...
Well, recently you saw that Tic Tac UFO off the coast of San Diego. It had no visual propulsion system. It had no heat signature. It dropped from 80,000 feet to 50 feet above the water, took a right turn, and it was pulling G's that would turn a organic human into, you know, like a jello, right? What are your thoughts?
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No,
I got to
did
show
not.
you that.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
You'll trip out,
But,
Mitch.
I don't know. You know, like I saw some stuff on Mars recently. I used to think maybe we came from Mars, right? I don't know. But they say actually Mars is such a small planet. There's no iron on Mars, so there's no gas to create the atmosphere that we would need to live there. But I don't never rule out life from another planet, you know, another world. You know, they say Jesus left in a cloud, and they say he's going to come back the way he left, right? You know, like I'm big on the Bible as well. If you look at the Bible, Ezekiel, fiery chariots, people have left the earth in a fiery chariot. What is a fiery chariot? You know, a chariot was the only means of transportation at that time, thousands of years ago. So if some guy sees something flying across the sky, to him it's a chariot, right? I mean, it's in the Bible, so, I mean...
Ezekiel's wheel. Yeah, that's a trip, Mitch.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of these divine moments in the Bible could have been alien intervention, yes?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I used to watch Ancient Aliens before I got out. It was a pretty cool show. Some of the theories are kind of cool, you know? But there's also, they found skeletons on the earth that are giants. Giants did walk the earth. That's also in the Bible. The Nephilim, you know. So the Nephilim are the sons of fallen, you know, angels and human women. So what are angels? What are they? Maybe people call them aliens now, who knows? But, you know, to me, like, the world and history and the universe is a lot bigger than the human mind can really grasp. And if you're not open to, you know, explore it, you know, like just think about it, open your mind up to different possibilities, and, you know, how do you open your mind up to different possibilities just in your daily life? You know, as an artist, I like to use my imagination and think about shit. So, but I also like to stay grounded in reality. But I don't rule out anything. We have no clue what the history of the universe and the world really is. You know.
Do you think we were seeded here by aliens?
Well, you know, it says God put us here. You know, so who is our God really?
Right.
You know, we were put here. You know, but then you see the Bible talks about Adam and Eve, right? And then when Cain killed Abel and they sent him out into the world, he was worried that other people were going to kill him. So who are the other people?